it. What I'm going to put on here is the path and see if we can't get a little bit of a look at where it has come from. It just kind of cropped up, so we'll get more information, more data as we get a little bit farther down the line with this. But still looking at some pretty decent rotation with this storm here, and I would again circle this area where the rotation detection is picking up the potential for a tornado near Service Road and Sherwood Forest. This will head towards Tinytown Road and Tylertown Road in northern Montgomery County. And just to see a different angle here, I'm going to switch radars because it might be that, Brett, it's an old, maybe the radar is down.
What radar side are you on?
I was looking at Hopkinsville. So that,
I guess it did go very close to it.
Indicating 9:47 here, so time is current, but that has not moved. Let's go back here just to see. Yeah, there. So let's go back. Let's come over here to our other radar, to Nashville radar, because the way that these are moving, I would suspect that that image would have advanced. I'm kind of talking inside shop here with Brett for a moment, but are you seeing the same thing I am? That Hopkinsville?
So yeah, I just popped up radar scope and it says radar image 16 minutes old right there. Yeah. So I don't know if it's...
Yeah, so it sounds like the Hopkinsville radar would be the better one to look at because it's closer to, but it might be that storms moved through Hopkinsville before this, and that might have affected the radars. So we're going to stick with the Nashville radar for now. But again, the tornado warning here is in effect until 10:30. That's for Todd County. In Montgomery County, it's until 10 o'clock because we're expecting that area of rotation to pass into southern Kentucky here near Todd County and into Christian County here. The severe thunderstorm warnings extend now all the way through Robertson County, through Cheatham County. Wow, look at that rain again. It's starting, we heard thunder here even. And that is, again, near Clarksville. A lot of wind, a lot of rain, which will continue to be the primary risk with these storms. And as Brett mentioned, it's going to be a heightened severe thunderstorm night, meaning that the winds could be unusually high. We could see gusts up to 70 miles per hour, perhaps even a little higher than that. It just depends on some of these storms here. I will say they've perked up a little bit over the last hour as far as intensity goes. And I saw earlier a few reports maybe of some hail coming in out of Dixon and Humphreys County. Looks like that's still the case. So there, yeah, wind up to 60 miles per hour with a severe thunderstorm warning through Cheatham, Dixon, Houston, and Humphreys, and hail up to 1.5 inches. So we're looking at some pretty intense winds here. That's going to be for this storm down here, getting ready to move into Dixon. So very intense rain and potentially some hail within this storm here, along with lightning and again severe winds up to 60 miles per hour. But some of these storms could produce higher wind gusts than that.
There's that storm in Lewis County that I was watching. I was looking at the winds on that one. Looking a little like we have some rotation going on down there. So we're going to see and just wait and see what the National Weather Service says on that and that they decide to issue anything. But right now, still, it's just a severe thunderstorm warning for that area. I'll zoom in and show you the area that I'm talking about. And it's going to be this area. I'm actually going to take off lightning, too. Lots of lightning, whole lot of lightning. We'll take that off. And so this is down here in Lewis County. It's around the Lewis County and Lawrence County line, right where our radar computer is putting up that yellow cylinder. So we're talking right there. That's where we're seeing at least a little bit of rotation on the Lewis County line and the Lawrence County line. That area is included in that severe thunderstorm warning. Currently, no tornado warning for that area. I'm going to keep my eye on National Weather Service chat to see if they do decide to issue anything with that. But seeing some rotation down there. And if we go back north of that, too, a lot of severe thunderstorms, and this is what we've been covering, and it looks like the National Weather Service in Paducah has taken the southeastern part of Christian County out of that tornado warning and still has the southwestern part of Todd County included in that tornado warning. And
they did mention too just moments ago that Hopkinsville radar is down.
So Hopkinsville radar is down.
Yeah, so
I wonder if the strong winds, maybe, I don't know if they took a power hit or anything like that up there, but yeah, that radar is down, and that's where we would get a little bit better view. Those storms would be closer to the Hopkinsville radar, so we would get a slightly better image if we were on the Hopkinsville radar site in Christian County, Kentucky, but we are on the Nashville radar site, so it is a little bit farther away. May not give us quite as clear of a picture on what exactly is going on. That radar beam is going to be shooting up a little bit higher since it's further away, but still we'll get a pretty good idea right here. And just still tracking that one area right there. Most of Montgomery County, I think the worst area of rotation is now in the...
yeah, I'd say it's in southern Kentucky, most likely.
Pretty much, and it looks like it may not even be quite as good. I've got our rotation detector map up right here. Not showing as good of rotation as when the National Weather Service initially tornado warned that thunderstorm right there, so that would be a good sign. And as far as the velocity goes on the radar, I'm not seeing anything that just
jumps out.
Yeah, nothing to me really stands out right now. I will say, though, just play it safe. Go ahead and stay in your safe place. The National Weather Service does still have that tornado warning up there for Todd County and parts of Montgomery County, northern portions of Montgomery County, until 10 o'clock for Montgomery County. That's just about up 8 minutes away. And then for Todd County until 10:30 for those areas. So just play it safe if you're in Haydensville, Anderson, Allensville, Herman, Bradshaw, Elkton, any of those locations in Todd County. Get to your safe place. That's going to be the lowest floor of whatever building you're in, the most interior room, and stay away from any windows. If you have a basement or a storm shelter, that's going to be a really good bet for you. Obviously, not everybody has those, but just get to the lowest floor, and you're going to be okay if there is actually a tornado right here onto the ground. And we are just a few days away from the start of spring now. Today's March 15th. March 20th is the first day of spring, and this is when our severe weather season really starts to ramp up here in Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. I believe March is the second or third highest tornado month for us. April's number one, but this is also another thing that we get. These are these lines, they're called QLCSs, that start to work their way, and we get a lot of these coming through this time of year, and they can come through at night, unfortunately. Nighttime tornadoes definitely occur more than we would like them to here across Middle Tennessee and parts of Southern Kentucky. But back to the radar, I'm going to put on the reflectivity, and whoops, I have taken away all my county lines. Let me try to pop this back up.
Yeah, to keep in mind too that, again, that the active tornado warning that we still have is going to be for Todd County, Kentucky. The one in Montgomery County will be allowed to expire, so the threat has weakened there in Tennessee. So that is good news. Top of the hour, they're going to let it expire. But that means basically too that the threat is no longer there for tornado. These will, if we see any other tornado warnings, they will be pretty much what we just saw here. Very brief. They can spin up quickly. They can show a real intense area of rotation. And then a couple scans later, they'll likely go away. Those are very QLCS tornadoes, if you will. So those are notorious in a line or convective line that we have that's coming through here, where they will spin up quickly and then they will dissipate just as fast as we can see them pop up on radar. Now with that, they have not issued a tornado warning downstream yet for Logan County. I would say the best rotation is going to be here in southern portions of Todd County, where there still is. So Montgomery County tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire, so we can go ahead and take the Montgomery County warning down. But for Todd County, Kentucky, we are still looking at an active warning. I would say, Brett and I were just looking at rotation, probably not as intense as it was, which is good, but the warning is still there. So we want to make sure that you are taking shelter here. So this is going to be for places like Bradshaw in southern Kentucky, Herman down to Anderson. And within this line, really throughout the entire line, we're going to be looking at these little areas of spin along the main portion of that line here. And once again, the severe wind will be the main threat, but these little embedded tornadoes can spin up fast and create a brief tornado. But we are still tracking here an intense line that is now moving more into Robertson County. The severe thunderstorm warning includes all of Cheatham County now, and that's going to be for this cell mainly here that's moving through downtown Dixon at this point. We are looking at even the potential for hail, I think, in this storm in Dixon.
Yeah, so I just got an email. I don't know if you got anything, but got an email saying some hail in Dixon. So yeah,
okay,
that's confirmation from the ground right there.
Yep. And I think this storm itself, ping pong ball size hail is possible near Pond in Dixon County. This is going to be right around downtown Dixon, headed towards Mount Lebanon. So the hail core in a storm is typically on the northern edge of the storm. So these little black cores that you're seeing here, that's going to be where we have the best chance of seeing hail. And if we put on the hail tracker, this is going to be a scan behind, but this shows us in the past 5 minutes or so that at least quarter size hail to half dollar size hail is possible with this storm that's pushing through Dixon. So there's the storm for Dixon County, Cheatham County. This will eventually impact portions of Davidson County. Then we're also looking at a line of broken thunderstorms here, kind of a 1-2 punch. This is the main line, and then this was a cluster of storms that cropped up in northern Mississippi and then worked its way into Tennessee here, and still is out by itself. It is all severe warned, so winds in excess of 70 miles per hour possible. And then down here in Alabama, we're watching closely a tornado warned storm out by itself. Again, these ones that are out by themselves like this, a little more concerning because they can maintain their energy. They can recycle themselves and maintain their strength. And those have the most chance of becoming more long-tracked for tornado potential. The line, though, is no joke for tonight as far as the wind is concerned here as it marches closer here to Nashville. But we take a look here inside our wind product. So anywhere that we see these little bowing effects is going to be indicating some really strong wind. Henrietta here, we're looking into portions of Robertson County and Montgomery County, kind of right along the Montgomery and Robertson County line into Cheatham County. Bethel, Beech Grove, on up to Shady Grove, I-24 here, and now moving through Clarksville. We've seen some pretty intense video coming in out of the TDOT cameras there up near Clarksville. But again, we continue to monitor one tornado warning here for Todd County. We want to send it quickly over to Kelly at the anchor desk, as she has got the latest reports for us. Hey, Kelly.
Thanks, Katie. Just a couple quick notes here. There is a ground stop right now at BNA Nashville International Airport that is set to go until 10 o'clock, so it's almost over. But again, planes are grounded right now because of the weather over at BNA. As far as outages go, right here in the Nashville area, Nashville Electric Service only reporting about 300 out. So we're doing okay right here in Davidson County. As we move more west towards where this system is, we're going to see about 3,000 people out over in the Cumberland Electric area. That's really around the Fort Campbell base. And I can tell you about 1,700 are out in the Penny Ryle Electric Service area, most of them in Christian County. We're going to continue to monitor the outages and this ground stop to see if it extends. We'll let you know first. Katie?
All right, thanks so much, Kelly. And again, we continue to track a tornado warning here. Southern Todd County, I'll say the rotation doesn't look quite as impressive, which is good, but the warning remains. Also, you can see the warning box continues to flash for Montgomery County. It's set to expire a minute from now. So the area that we were watching that had rotation earlier has passed and has pushed more into southern Kentucky. So that's what we are tracking still, is this one warning in southern Todd County, and that'll go until 10:30 or until they decide to let it expire. But the severe thunderstorm winds are no joke for tonight. Again, we will have usually the base for a severe thunderstorm is winds in excess of 58 miles per hour. Tonight, it's going to be 70 miles per hour. And that can do as much damage as a low-end tornado. So we don't want you to kind of brush off the wind as it's just wind. These types of winds and these types of setups can often lead to some damage. And keep in mind too that we just got over an ice storm 2 months ago, and a lot of our trees have been weakened considerably by the ice storm. So it will not take as much wind to bring down some of these trees, unfortunately. So that's something else we'll want to keep in mind. as we head into the evening hours here.
Looks like we just had another tornado warning issued, Katie, but this is going to be for the extreme far northeastern portions of Logan County. That tornado warning right there is going to go until 10:45. So that was just issued. Another 45 minutes about on that tornado warning right there. But again, this is the extreme far northeastern portions of Logan County. We'll switch it over here to our rotation detector, and you can see the area that they went ahead and put that warning on. If you're around Chandler's Chapel up here in northeastern Logan County, Costello, Anderson, Buffalo Fork, any of those spots, go ahead and get to your safe place. This is going to be out of Logan County. It looks like it may have just tightened up just a little bit right there near Costello, right there. But this is going to be out of Logan County in a very short amount of time. Just give it another 5-10 minutes or so, and it'll probably over the county line, and that will be out of our viewing area. Logan County should be able to get clipped out of that tornado warning. And then once that is over, it looks like that other warning, Katie, just expired since it's at 10 o'clock. They just, or actually that was set to go until 10:30, but I think they canceled that early, so that's good. Yeah, so that is the only tornado warning that we have right now, that one up in far northeastern Logan County. And again, that is going to run until 10:45. I'm just going to check down here further south. Still no tornado warnings anywhere deeper here in the Middle Tennessee. I will say, though, that whole line is still severe thunderstorm warned, all the way from parts of southern Kentucky, all the way down through Middle Tennessee into the Alabama and Tennessee state line. Some of these areas seeing some really heavy rain and wind with these severe thunderstorm warnings right now. We're going to go up here to Montgomery County, over into Robertson County, Clarksville, seeing the heavy rain right now, especially here if you're on the east side of Clarksville. Springfield, maybe a few small pockets of moderate to heavy rainfall, but just give it another 10 minutes or so, and then you're going to start to get some really heavy rainfall moving into the Clarksville area, seeing right now. South of that, this is going to be around Dixon. We'll zoom in on this one because this is where we're likely seeing some hail, and like we were saying, getting some reports of some hail. I had an email of pea-sized hail, and I'm seeing another storm report come in.
Looks like, too, they're issuing a meso discussion for that one cell near the Tennessee and Alabama line.
Is that tornado warning storm down there?
I think it is, and it's saying that it's showing signs of strengthening.
Okay, so that's some area, we're talking right down here. That's an area that we're going to have to be watching out. That tornado warning that is in North Alabama, that's for Lauderdale County, Alabama. That's going to go until 10:15. But if that storm holds together, that's the one that we were talking about 30 minutes or so ago. If that 20 minutes or so, if that keeps on moving up to the northeast, that would be taking it over into parts of Wayne County and Lawrence County. So this storm right here, it's in North Alabama right now, but that's one that we're going to be keeping a close eye on, moving up on that northeasterly track. We're going to go back up here too. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time up here because this is just about to be crossing over the line. Still seeing just a little bit of rotation over here now around the Buffalo Fork area, Gasper. If you're around, I'm going to have to zoom in really closely here, try to get some of these road names. Bucksville Road, River Road, Liberty Church Road, up here in far northeastern Logan County. Just go ahead and stay in your safe place for a little bit longer. The main area of concern, that's going to be, it just looks like kind of broad rotation too, but the main area of concern up here in the far northeastern part of that, crossing over the line, not going to have to deal with that for a whole lot longer. And still, Katie, just these severe thunderstorm warnings that we have. But like you were saying earlier, this is more than just a low-end severe weather threat day, especially for the damaging wind risk. A lot of these severe thunderstorm warnings have been being issued for winds possible up to 70 miles an hour or so. And we are still getting some reports of hail with some of these storms. And with these type of systems that move through, a lot of times, kind of like what we saw up there with that Montgomery County storm that got tornado warned on, some of these storms on the leading edge could briefly rotate. Usually the tornadoes associated with these type of systems are shorter lived and also a little bit weaker, but you can definitely get some of these quick spin-up tornadoes on the leading edge of these strong lines. Even though the main concern is damaging winds, can't rule out some of these tornadoes. And also, like we were saying earlier, with winds at 70, 75 miles an hour, that's going to put it like low-end tornado strength. So some of these could do just as much as a low-end tornado. So you really can't let your guard down just because these are severe thunderstorm warnings, because they can still really be packing a whole lot of wind with those. I'll check over here in the National Weather Service chat and just see if they're saying anything. I'm seeing some half-dollar sized hail reports from, that was around Dixon. Okay, so I've had all the way from pea-sized reports in Dixon to half-dollar size hail size reports. I'm
still watching this storm too in northern Logan County for those near Buffalo Fork. This is really, I think, going to be where the best rotation is with this storm at the moment, but it's getting ready to push out of Logan County. So while we do, and I want to just stress that since we have it at the bottom of our screen, while we do still have the warning for Logan County, I would make sure that you're taking shelter. If you're near Buffalo Fork, near Gasper, Liberty Church Road, and then it's going to push out of Logan County and into Warren County. And more towards Bowling Green. It looks like I don't know if they extended the warning. That was the original warning there. But again, most of that, and in fact, I bet the best rotation is going to be right about there, right along the county line. So we don't want to forget you. We are watching this. Not as concerned with the tornado warning in Logan County as I would be for that in Warren County right now. With the better rotation starting to push more into Warren County. But we're still watching it. And as Brett mentioned too, wind and hail are going to be what we're looking at for the most part right now. But the tornado threat does remain, especially with this cluster that we're looking at here through Murray County on down towards Lawrence County. Everything's severe warned. And again, severe weather warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings tonight need to be taken seriously. These aren't standard 60-mile-per-hour winds. These are winds in excess of 70 miles per hour and can do more damage. So we want to make sure that you're taking that seriously here. And we're really going to keep an eye on this. The fact the Storm Prediction Center has picked it out and issued a meso discussion on it, and it's out by itself, and it's consistently showing rotation near Florence, Alabama. This could eventually impact southern portions of Lawrence County and Giles County. So we really want to keep an eye on that cell as it marches forward. And again, when they're out by themselves like this, they can be longer tracked. They can show persistent rotation for an hour plus in some cases if it's in the right environment. So those are all things that we need to keep in mind. But wind does remain the main threat, and that main line here is getting fairly close here to downtown. So I'm going to track this out. This has been moving about 55, Brett, 60, I would estimate.
Probably about that. And Katie, I will say one time too, I just had the mesoscale discussion that you were talking about from the Storm Prediction Center for that storm in parts of North Alabama. They're saying peak winds possibly 75 to 90 miles an hour. So that's non-tornadic, just straight line wind damage. So like we've been saying tonight, even if it's not a tornado, some of these winds are going to be very strong, pushing 75, 80 miles an hour, maybe even a little bit higher for some of these storms. So you got to just play those safe as well. Definitely don't want to be outside with any of this. Tons of lightning too. Just stay inside and get to the lowest floor of your building if any sort of tornado warning, anything like that is issued. Yeah,
this means business tonight as far as winds are concerned. This is not one that you want to mess with here. So we're going to continue to track the winds as we head through the next hour here. It's going to get pretty intense into the Nashville metro area. This is a track that I've put on here with the main line that's expected to arrive TSU in the next 23 minutes. Percy and Warner Park, downtown Metro Nashville. About 25 minutes from now is when we're expecting that line to arrive. We've already been feeling the wind throughout the day, and we're expecting the highest wind gusts to move in here. Now, I will say, once this main line pushes through, now for those that are in, let's say, Murray County, and down towards Lawrence County, you've kind of got a 1-2 punch, unfortunately. So you've got this batch here, and then you'll have a second wave there. So that's the exception. But for most of us, where this main line is, excuse me, once the main line works its way through your area, then the severe weather threat will diminish greatly. So the line here is rather skinny. The intense part of this storm system may not last too long, but it could be very intense as it moves through. So this should be, I'll say, relatively short-lived as far as the highest wind gusts are concerned. The potential for the highest potential for your tornado risk should be relatively short-lived, but we will continue to find breezy winds beyond the main line here. So right along the edge is going to be where the highest wind gusts are, where the potential for tornadoes will be. Behind that is going to be heavy rainfall, lightning, thunder, noisy storms, and probably still some gusty winds. But the most immediate concern, again, is going to be for that leading edge as it moves in. So we are still tracking to the tornado warning. I would say that the rotation that we're concerned with has now passed Logan County. So we will likely see an update from the National Weather Service in Louisville shortly on the tornado warning in Logan County. They'll probably take it out and then continue it through portions of Warren County here. So that's good news, but we're still watching it. It is still active at this point, but again, I would say the immediate concern looks to be pushing more into Warren County in Kentucky, but does remain in effect. And this one goes until 10:45. So yeah, they'll probably send an update out on that one. But other than that, we continue to track here some pretty decent winds that are going to be moving in shortly. Nothing else that is sticking out in maybe, actually, I don't want to speak too soon. Let's see here. That looks to be definitely some hail. Not too sure about an actual area of rotation. Doesn't really match up, but questionable right now. So again, these types of storms may, again, have very brief spin-ups.
And it looks like they are about. Are you down there in Murray County?
No, this one's in Dixon County that I'm looking at here. Okay. So let's go down to Murray County.
Yeah, it looks like they're about to issue a warning for that storm that's been trying to rotate.
Yeah. Okay. So this one will be near Poplar Top, Westwood, and headed into downtown Columbia. And even our radar is picking up on a rotation as well. So when we get the yellow arrows here, and there's the new warning that just popped up. When we get the yellow arrows that pop up there, where the pink ones are severe and these yellow or orange ones is a rotation detection that the radar is picking up on. So pretty good rotation that they're seeing, excuse me, moving through Murray County. So let's first start with the tornado warning. It's a long warning. This one is going to be for Williamson County and for Murray County.
It's a very long warning.
Yeah. This will be in effect until 11 o'clock. Extends through Murray and Williamson County, headed towards downtown Columbia. May pass just north of downtown Columbia. So let's zoom in here, very close to downtown, if not just north of downtown Columbia. But this, again, best area of rotation, I would say, is going to be near Columbia Gardens, Williamsport Pike, Bel Air, to Fairview Heights and downtown Columbia. Looking at a pretty decent area of rotation. Storm trying to pop up a tornado warning, or a tornado, I should say. The warning is in effect for Murray and for Williamson County. The storms too have been moving pretty fast, so that's probably why we have such a long warning that extends through Franklin and Williamson County on up to Brentwood. This will also include portions of Nolensville, Arrington, Arno, all in Williamson County. 840 and I-65, Thompson Station, Spring Hill. These are all locations included in the warning. The tornado portion is still in Murray County. And it looks like it has tightened up a little bit there, Brett.
Yep, I'm still seeing that right there around the, let's see, where are we at?
We are downtown
Acres, Columbia.
Yeah, downtown Columbia.
Moving off to the northeast, and all these storms, like we were saying earlier too, moving pretty quickly. This particular storm that they went ahead and issued that tornado warning for, moving to the northeast at 50 miles an hour. So it's moving pretty quickly up to the northeast, and I'm gonna put it back over here and just show you who is in this. I'm gonna zoom out. And let's see right here. So we are in the central area of Murray County right now. This is right near downtown Columbia. So if you live in really a lot of Murray County, we'll say the north central areas of Murray County, I'm just going to name out some places: Columbia, Chante Acres, Athendale, Lanton, Lucia, Jameson, Lee's Corner, and forgive me if I mispronounce some of these town names, but you just need to go ahead and be in your safe place. We have a tornado warning in effect for central and northern areas of Murray County that's going to go until 11 o'clock tonight, so 45 minutes left on that tornado warning. National Weather Service has seen enough rotation on the radar, and that's what we're looking at right here. Our radar computer's picking that up, popping up that yellow spinning cylinder, indicating that we have some pretty good rotation here with this storm. Went ahead and issued that tornado warning on this storm. So if a tornado is not on the ground right now, it could be on the ground at any moment. This storm is very capable of producing a tornado. This was issued because of radar indicated rotation moving up to the northeast at 55 miles an hour. So once it crosses out of Murray County, that's going to send this storm up into Williamson County. And then we're talking areas like Thompson Station, Duplex, Cali, Douglas, Arno, Arrington, Trinity, parts of Franklin included in this tornado warning, Nolensville on the very far edge of this tornado warning, but still included, Kirkland included in this tornado warning. A lot of areas included in this tornado warning right here in the central portions of Middle Tennessee. So if that storm holds together, we'll say probably 20, 30 minutes from now, crossing over Interstate 65 in parts of Murray County and Williamson County. So that's one that we're definitely going to be keeping a close eye on. So if you're anywhere in these areas in that red flashing polygon of Murray County or Williamson County, then you just need to be in your safe place. Some of the main areas, Columbia, Thompson Station, Franklin, all included within that tornado warning that we have that's going to go until 11 o'clock tonight. I'm going to zoom out just super quick. Okay, I just wanted to check that Logan County storm. If you were in your safe place up here in far northeastern portions of Logan County, the best area of rotation has now left your spot and has crossed over the county line. So it is now out of Logan County. So if you were taking shelter up there in northeastern Logan County, you are all good to leave your safe place up there. The main area of concern has now pushed outside of Logan County. No longer a threat up there anymore with that tornado warning that was in effect. We still have this tornado warning, though, that's in place until
pretty decent rotation,
11 o'clock tonight. Yeah, we'll pop this over here. I'm going to put up the rotation, the severe wind. These are the winds that are going towards and away from the radar. You can see that by the red and green pixels. So that's where we're seeing the best area of rotation. This takes away a little bit of the clutter, and we zoom in right here and starting to see some brighter shades of green. So this is Interstate 65 at I-840. A dark picture, but you can see it light. Yeah, lots of lightning on there. Thanks a lot, Sarah, for getting this camera up for us.
A lot of lightning.
Yeah, a lot of lightning. Very heavy rain with these storms. And obviously you have the really strong winds. This line is still, if we zoom out, still severe thunderstorm warned all the way from southern Kentucky down through Middle Tennessee up into parts of North Alabama. Winds pushing up to 70 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour capable with a lot of these storms that are moving through Middle Tennessee, and also getting some hail reports as well. But the main area of concern that we're looking at, it's going to be right here around Columbia. And Katie, I'm starting to see some of the red color pop up right here on our rotation detector, indicating.
I just took a look at a new scan that was coming in here. So this is really starting to tighten up a little bit. So for those, again, downtown Columbia and points north, Shantae Acres, River Heights. We're going to go up Nashville Highway near Lanton. These are all locations that need to be seeking shelter now from a tornado warning in Murray County. Does include Williamson County. Immediate concern is going to be for folks just north of downtown Columbia. I'm circling the area that we're looking at here. It has tightened up a little bit, so we want to make sure for those near Lanton on up to Spring Hill and Thompson Station. Please make sure, go ahead and take your head to your safe spot now. I'm going to put this out about 55 miles per hour. So Thompson Station, 10 minutes. Nolensville in about 29 minutes. This storm has shown the best rotation of the night so far. And Brett just mentioning that our rotation detection is tightening up. So we're now looking at strong rotation right around Shantae Acres and the Nashville Highway. And again, this is just downtown of Columbia, downtown Columbia.
Yeah, this looks like the strongest rotation is right here near Godwin, just to the east of Godwin, right over Rock Products Road and areas like Santa Fe Pike. So if you're familiar with those areas, you definitely need to be in your safe place. Sorry, I'm having to lean over, get really close to my screen to be able to see this. Small words, but if you're around Rock Products Road, it looks like that best area of rotation right here. Well, right there is where I was talking about. Right there is where we're seeing the best area of rotation. So this is going to be, again, just around the Godwin area, just east of Godwin. Just had a radar scan update. So on our rotation detector, it looks like it has dropped off just a little bit, but we're going to put it back over here on the severe wind. These are the winds taken from the storm that are going to and away from the radar. I'm currently on the Nashville radar site, so it's going to be up northeast of this. And the red pixels, the ones that are going away, the green, the winds that are going towards it. So we'll just draw a circle right here still where we're looking at some of the better areas of rotation, and it's going to be for these areas just north of Chante Acres and southwest of Neapolis, right over here on Highway 31. So if you're familiar with that area, you need to be in your safe place right now. The main area of rotation right there where I have circled in blue. So this is going to be for Nashville Highway, Main Street, moving up near Harrion Road, Double Branch Road, Sam Johnson Road, any of those areas, some of the better rotation, Darks Mill Road. So just stay in your safe place. That's going to be the lowest floor of whatever building you're in, the most interior room, away from windows. That's going to help keep you safe in case there is a tornado onto the ground. I have not seen any sort of confirmation, no reports from anybody.
Weather Service just saying that we've been talking about that rotation's pretty tight there in Columbia, just north of Columbia, and all those locations that you were just naming off, Brett. For those two that have friends and family in northern Murray County, even extending into Williamson County, Thompson Station, Spring Hill, please give them a call. We're now at just about 10:30 in the evening hours. Some folks may go to bed early. I know there's a lot of noisy storms out there, so maybe woken up. But this one has some decent rotation with it, and we want to give everybody the heads up that they need. It's why we have those multiple ways to stay alert. And one of those ways is friends and family, making sure that you give them a phone call when you may see something and they may not be seeing it because they're asleep. Kelly's at the anchor desk tonight, and she's keeping up to date with reports coming in. Kelly, what do you got?
Right now, we have a ground stop at Nashville International Airport that is extending through 11 o'clock. That means no planes can take off there. So if you are at BNA right now, you are waiting until at least 11 o'clock for any type of movement there. We'll let you know if that's extended. Initially, it was going to be until 10 o'clock, and then they extended it. We know these storms are going to continue at least for the next couple of hours. So we'll be keeping an eye on BNA. We do have some outages coming in at this point in the Clarksville area for CDE Lightband Electric. 5,300 people out in that area, more specifically the northern Clarksville area. Cumberland Electric, CEMC, that is the area pretty much south of Fort Campbell where we're seeing the most outages, about 3,100 there. Penny Ryle Electric, 1,700 in the Christian County area. Nashville Electric Service doing pretty good right now with only about 200, just over 200 outages that we've been seeing for a few hours now, so not sure if they're connected to this specific system, but so far Davidson County looking pretty good. We'll continue to watch these outages and BNA for you as we continue to monitor the active warnings. I'm going to send it to Brett Luna now.
Thank you, Kelly. And I want to show you this tornado safety map, but before I get to that, just real quick, I saw that lightning hit a house in Dallas down a subdivision in Franklin, and the house is on fire. So lightning also a concern with a lot of these storms as well. That's just a report that we had coming in. But a lot of new people, or a lot of people have been moving to the area and maybe coming from areas where you're not super familiar with tornadoes. But we get those frequently down here, unfortunately, in Middle Tennessee. When we say get to your safe place, that's going to be to the lowest floor of whatever building you're in, the most interior room. If you have something like an interior bathroom or an interior closet, that's going to be a really safe bet for you. Obviously, a storm shelter or a basement is going to be a great option for you. Not every house has those, but just get to the lowest level of whatever building you're in. Stay away from any windows, and if you have one of those interior bathrooms or interior closets, that's going to be a really good bet for you. Just wanted to point that out, though. Again, a lot of new people that have been moving here to Middle Tennessee, maybe from areas where you don't get tornadoes as frequently as we do here. So we still have that tornado warning in effect for parts of Murray County on up into Williamson County. This is going to go until 11 p.m. We also just had a severe thunderstorm warning that was issued for Nashville. So this includes, looks like all of Davidson County, and Sumner County and
it's
maybe
a big warning.
Parts of Wilson. Yeah, a huge severe thunderstorm warning. 70-mile-an-hour winds with this. And when they issued this tornado warning, they also put, severe thunderstorm warning, they also put quarter-sized hail with this and a tornado possible tag. So not confident enough to go ahead and issue that tornado warning on that storm yet, but a big severe thunderstorm warning. Nashville, Hendersonville, Gallatin, Portland, all included in that new severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to go until 11:15. Very strong winds, just like we've been seeing over there in areas near the Tennessee River. This whole main line is now sweeping east across the central portions of Middle Tennessee. Going to be closing in on Interstate 65 here in a little bit, and moving through areas like Cheatham County right now, some of at least the heaviest part of that main line. But it's going to be over here into Davidson County very soon too. Parts of Davidson County seeing some really heavy rain, but these are just some of those storms that have developed ahead of that main line. The main line is sweeping through areas like Kingston Springs and Ashland City right now, bringing some very heavy rain and very strong wind to those areas. I want to just take a second though to go back to this tornado warning down here in Murray County and Williamson County. Some more populated areas included in this. Franklin included within this tornado warning. Thompson Station included as well. Lanton, Carters Creek, Chante Acres, Columbia still included in that. We'll move it over here to the shear rate and see where the best area of rotation is. So the best area of rotation now, it's pushing up closer to the Williamson County line. So we'll zoom in a little bit. And wherever we start to see these greens popping up, especially when it gets that lighter shade of green, earlier when the storm was in a little bit further southwest in Murray County, we had the red popping up indicating some slightly stronger rotation. But right here, a little bit southeast of Spring Hill and northeast, southwest of Spring Hill and northeast of Lanton, still seeing a little bit of rotation going on right there in that area. If you live in this area, I know a lot of new subdivisions have been going up around parts of Williamson County, Murray County, these areas. But Denning Road, Brown Road, Hummingbird Lane, any of those spots, that looks like where the best area of rotation is right now. So if there is a tornado on the ground, it would be crossing over your area. This is still, as far as I know, radar indicated rotation. Still have not had any sort of report. I'm trying to go through National Weather Service chat to just see if I'm getting any reports of tornadoes, but not seeing anything there.
They're just talking about rotation still. It still looks good enough. It looks like it's headed towards I-65, like you had mentioned, around mile marker 51 to 54. So that rotation is going to be about halfway between Columbia and Spring Hill right now. Right around Lanton we were talking about. This is going to be east of 31 now, headed towards Tom Lunn Road, just south of Spring Hill. So here's Spring Hill, here's that rotation that we've been talking about, and it continues to be persistent enough as it heads towards I-65 that National Weather Service is going to continue that warning. If we zoom out just for perspective, here's
Columbia just got removed from that. So if you're in Columbia,
all clear for Columbia.
All clear there.
Good. So this again is still going to be in effect for those northern Murray County. Here's Thompson Station, here's Franklin, here's I-65. So there's the latest scan that's just come in, still looking like we've got some decent rotation that we need to continue to monitor. But again, that's going to be just south of Spring Hill and would likely be rain wrapped. So this would not be one that you could walk outside and see. Want to take pictures of it. Please don't. Please just head to your safe spot, away from windows, lowest level of your home. An interior bathroom's a great place. Anywhere that doesn't have windows or is in an outside area of the home that may be a little more susceptible to damage. But there's a live look here, I-65 and 840 that you can see a lot of lightning with these storms. And I've taken lightning off just because there's so much of it. So you can see there with it on, easier to see inside the storm for our sake. But still looking at rotation here, we'll begin to cross I-65 near Duplex, but again, south of Spring Hill near Saturn Parkway right now. And we'll be passing over 65 in the next 5 to 10 minutes. I do also want to make a quick note as well. A small correction here about the ground stop at B&A. There is a ground stop in effect for aircraft that are departing to Nashville International due to weather, and that's going to be until 11 o'clock, so another 30 minutes. Aircraft are still departing from Nashville International at this time. So again, there is a ground stop that is in effect, but it is for aircraft coming into Nashville until 11 o'clock. But again, the tornado warning continues to be the main area of concern that we are looking at. But again, these severe thunderstorm warnings are not something to shake off. Winds up to 70 miles per hour. And I will note, we've had a couple big booms here at our station in Nashville. We have not even had the main line move in yet. So all this loud and noisy weather that you've been hearing are all just, you know, areas of lightning, and even a few positive lightning strikes that you see. So these yellow strikes of lightning indicate positive strikes. They come from the top of a cloud. They travel farther through the atmosphere. They create a louder boom, and usually it resonates a little more too. So those positive strikes can really knock you off your feet when you hear them. So that again is what we've been hearing in the Nashville area if you're in the metro. But here's that main line, and that's now pushing through just now the edge of Davidson County. So for folks in Bellevue, this is on your doorstep. Moving through Kingston Springs over to Newsom and on up now through Ashland City. So Ashland City seeing intense rainfall, very high winds, and the potential even for some small hail. But again, these severe thunderstorm warnings extend out a good chunk of real estate.
There's a loud boom right here at the station.
Big one. Yeah. So here's I-40 and Old Hickory, and again, the rain is coming down. We've got some decent winds as well. We will have winds possible up to 70 miles per hour. Main area of concern continues to be in Murray and stretching now into Williamson County. So let's go back to that. I-65, if we have a camera near the Murray County and Williamson County line, that would be cool. Near Duplex to Spring Hill, a camera near Spring Hill.
And Katie, I will say one time too, while they're getting that camera up, their National Weather Service here in Nashville talking about the rotation near Spring Hill has been on a downward trend for a few radar scans now, so that's great news. We're seeing that right here. I've got the winds pulled up. Not seeing a tide of rotation anymore with that, but don't let your guard down. Just go ahead and play it safe. Stay in your safe place if you're up here, especially around the Spring Hill area, around the Williamson and Murray County line. So we're talking right there. Just go ahead and stay in your safe place for a little bit longer in case it does start to perk back up. But as of right now, it looks like it's on a downward trend. So hopefully, if once a few more radar scans come out, they'll be able to say, okay, no longer a threat. But until then, you just got to play it safe and stay in your safe place for a little bit longer if you are within that tornado warning. And that does include a lot of the eastern half and central areas of Williamson County.
All right, that's a good report, Brett. And yeah, good idea to just make sure you stay in your safe spot for a little bit longer. As Brett mentioned here, sometimes these storms, wow, look at that. That's 840 at Thompson Station. And lots of lightning again with these cameras.
Wow.
Look at that.
Lots of lightning.
But again, sometimes these storms can cycle. So that means that we can get something that'll spin up real fast. It'll weaken for a couple of scans and then very quickly can spin up again. So that's why Weather Service will keep that warning going for a couple more scans before they're fairly confident or 100% confident that they can let that warning expire. So good trend to see, but we want to see it for a few more scans before they let that warning go. But we do continue to see, you know, winds in excess of 70 miles per hour with some of these storms here. So, but I will say too, it does not look quite as intense as far as the area of rotation goes, but that would be near Spring Hill that we continue to track it. Passing over I-65 right now. Camera that you see here is 840 near Thompson Station, or did you say Thompson Station or Spring Hill? Okay, but at 840 here, and a lot of lightning coming in off this camera. Just within view here, we've got 87 strikes. So very noisy storms that continue tonight. And with wind as the primary risk, we do want to note too, we do have a tornado watch in effect, and that includes everybody. So if you're watching from, I got to pull up that graphic now. If you're watching from, let's say,
I can get it up right here if you need me to.
Yeah.
Oh, they've already clipped out some of our counties, so that's good.
Oh, wow. I was in show mode and I hadn't gotten up. So yeah, the good news is here, it looks like the tornado watch is already being clipped, so that's good.
Yep, so there it goes right there. That's,
everyone, yeah, but everyone in that watch.
Yep. But everybody in that shade of yellow that you see right there behind me and Katie, that is the tornado watch. Here in Middle Tennessee, it's going to go until 3 a.m. Southern Kentucky, it's going to go until 2 a.m.
Yeah. So we're still watching this one tornado warned storm. Still very sliver of Maury County is included in that. But I do think that the better rotation has left Maury County now and is pushing more into portions of Williamson County at the moment. But there are some other smaller areas of rotation within a kink within the line that's moving in that we'll have to keep our eye on. Still nothing at the moment that looks really suspicious. We're still watching too this one, we were talking about this earlier down in northern Alabama, still out by itself, although the line behind it's catching up to it. So we'll keep an eye on this one. But there still is a tornado warning in effect here for northern Alabama, and that could potentially impact our friends in Lawrence County and perhaps Giles County.
Yeah, tornado warning right now goes right up to
yeah, it does, right up to the line. So we'll continue to watch that one, but as of now, no active warning in Lawrence or Giles County. The one that we continue to watch is in Williamson County and very corner of Maury County, northern corner of Maury County, toward I-65. And still seeing some area of rotation within the storm here near Duplex, I would put it. Harpeth and Little Texas over toward Paytonsville, on up toward Arrington. So the rotation is there right along 431. And it has weakened over the past few scans, so that's good, but it is still there. So we want to make sure that we're keeping a close eye on it. And let's see if we can go back just to see within the last hour. You can see the rotation track started in Maury County. So this is back in time. Note the time up here. This is at 10:21.
Yeah, it looked like the rotation was better back then.
Yep. So rotation was most intense just over northern Columbia. And you can see it has remained, but is not as persistent or not as strong. So possible that we may have had a very brief touchdown just north of Columbia. But of course, National Weather Service will be the one to determine that when they have, when we're clear of severe weather. So we're back to current time. The warning still continues for southern portions of Williamson County, but again, the rotation just doesn't look to be quite as organized as it once was. Still, we don't want to shake off those winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. So here's 840 again. Wow.
So much lightning. Anytime you look at it, just boom.
Yeah.
Heavy rain being lit up by the lightning.
Our assistant news director telling us there's heavy rain when you can see it within the lightning. So that is definitely going to be, it would be up in Clarksville, it was blinding and it was literally horizontal rain. So that's going to be the type of storms that we get for tonight as they continue to push through here. I want to quickly come up here. Now this line, a severe line, is starting to push more into Nashville. And we're looking at even a few little kinks or even just some bursts of wind right around west in Davidson County, and this is going to be just outside of Bordeaux, and these are being measured a little higher up, so we're not going to be looking at 100-mile-per-hour winds at the surface. That's just above us, but nonetheless, we could be looking at 70-mile-per-hour winds easy with some of these gusts that are coming through here. So for us in at the station, if we have anyone available to maybe get some video from outside, this is going to be coming in pretty shortly. Let me see real fast too on our Metro camera what we've got.
If it was facing the other way, that'd be a
yeah, it would be better. But that's what we have here, and you can actually see it shaking. But this image will look a lot different in about 5-10 minutes. So again, we do continue to watch the tornado warning in Maury County and in Williamson County. But these types of gusts that we see here near Whites Creek, just north of Briley Parkway, and near up toward Jolton, we could easily see gusts in excess of 75 miles per hour, 70 to 75 miles per hour. And that can do a lot of damage, as much as a low-end tornado. So that is something we'll need to continue to watch with these little notches that continue to form along the line.
So they went ahead and took out all of Murray County right then with that update, but they did continue it into parts of Williamson County until 11 o'clock still.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back here and just go back in and see what we're seeing. There are, a few areas that we're looking at for rotation. But once again, I would say these gusts could be 70, 75 miles per hour. That will be what we are looking at most likely for most of these here as we continue with the warning. That'll go for another 20 minutes, so until 11 o'clock. But for folks near, I would say, Paytonsville, Little Texas over to Arno, Lambkin Bridge Estates, these are all areas that are going to be looking at some pretty intense wind coming in. So here's 840. And again, we're looking at, this is a tornado warning. Rotation doesn't look quite as impressive as it did, but it's still enough that the Weather Service has kept the warning going just in case we see these spin up again. Sometimes, again, they like to kind of take a breather, if you will, and then they will ramp up. So they want to get a few more scans before they can give the all clear with this warning. So this warning does continue for Williamson County until 11 o'clock. Anything from the Weather Service yet, Brett?
Nope, not a whole lot going on, just except for the continuation of that tornado warning that's going to keep on remaining in effect for Williamson County until 11 o'clock tonight. So they are going to hold this just for another 20 minutes up into Williamson County. So let's, I'm going to try to read up some of these town names, and I got to get close to my screen, so I'm going to be looking down. But Cali, Arno, Lambkin Bridge Estates, Arrington, Douglas, Countrywood, Clovercroft, Carriage Hills, Nolensville, you still all need to be in your safe place right now. Still just enough of rotation for the National Weather Service to go ahead and keep that tornado warning on that storm that is now pushed out of Murray County. This is the rainfall that we're looking at right here, and you can see a lot of heavy rainfall with this storm. We're going to move it over, though, and look at what we were looking at earlier, and we're going to put it over here on the winds. I'm not seeing anything that just really jumps out at me on the velocity product, the wind product that we can look at on the radar to see if we're getting some strong rotation. So at least that's good. If we get anything, it looks very weak right now. So hopefully that trend will continue. And that's what it's kind of been looking like too over the past few radar scans. So hopefully won't have to worry about that for a whole lot longer. But I think Kelly's got some new information too. So we'll send it over to Kelly at the desk.
Our Metro Center camera.
That's right. We have the ground stop continuing at Nashville International Airport until 11 o'clock. That means any flight heading into BNA will be grounded or delayed at this point. If the plane is in the air, it's up to the pilot and whether or not to land. I can tell you that planes that are at BNA that need to take off and leave BNA, those can still take off. So it's really for planes heading into this rain, heading into the area that they're concerned about. That again is extended until 11 o'clock. We do have some outages across the area, 200 in the NES Nashville, Davidson County area at this point. NES just tweeted out that this is because of winds that are up to about 75 miles an hour.
Nuts.
You're looking at the Metro Central Center camera right there, and you can see it is moving. That is some wind.
It moved our camera.
I was about to say, are you moving that, or did the wind just move that?
Wow. I've never seen that happen before. In the 12 years that I've worked here.
You can look down there at the kind of the left side of on the pavement.
Yeah.
What am I trying to say? See that building right there? That's the roof of the building. You can see the wind just flying on the ground right there on the left side of that big black long line that you see.
Yeah, sorry, Kelly, didn't mean to.
No, that's okay. I'm just looking at it, and you can really see it. That camera is not stable right now. It shows you how strong those winds are. Again, causing some outages, just over 200 in the Davidson County NES area. They just tweeted out that, or posted on X, that this is due to some of these pocket storms or bursts of air that we're seeing in the Nashville area. Penny Ryle Electric in Christian County at about 1,700 people without power there. Cumberland Electric in the Fort Campbell area, kind of west and south of Fort Campbell, is 4,100 people who are in the dark. And CDE Lightband in the Clarksville, northern Clarksville area has about 5,300 people without power right now. We are hearing some reports of hail as well in Dixon. So a lot going on as we continue to monitor this storm system, the warnings and the watches in our area. We'll send it over to Katie.
Thanks, Kelly. I'm still kind of just watching this camera here. Popped up like magic. Woo, that was fun.
Can you explain what we're looking at exactly?
Yes.
Do you know what is at the top of the building?
Yeah. So this is a building here, and then this is the parking lot, and then the river's right here. I wish we could.
I thought I saw the water. You could really see it moving. Okay.
Yeah. So right here we're seeing the. Oh, that was good that you could see. This is the parking lot. The water on the parking lot is being blown, so that's what you're seeing there. But then right here is the Cumberland River. I wish we could see that when maybe if we get another strike of lightning, because I just heard some thunder. But again, the river is here, and then this is Mainstream Drive, and you can see even here if we push that out. You can see the rain on the pavement that is just being blown from the camera. And again, I've never seen this before, but the camera was pointed more toward downtown.
The river was not in frame.
The river was not in view, and the wind pushed the camera. And now we can see a little bit of the river, the Cumberland River. But you can see just from our talk a few minutes ago, it's quiet. So again, we were talking about how this line is going to be really intense for a short amount of time. So just batten down the hatches, the line will come through, and within 5 minutes, the most intense part of that storm will have passed.
And Katie, I will say too that that tornado warning that was in effect for Williamson County, they went ahead and let that one go. That was some loud thunder we just heard out there too. But yeah, that tornado warning that was in effect for Williamson County, they went ahead and canceled that early, so that's good news. So no tornado warnings yet. However, there is still an area of rotation. We're going to go back down to Murray County. Just want to point this out real quick. This is going to be around the Mount Pleasant area. This is going to be for southern areas of Murray County. That's one area that we're going to continue to watch. And also that storm that's in North Alabama. But I was just seeing the National Weather Service chat saying that, or in the National Weather Service chat, National Weather Service saying that also just continuing to watch that, but not terribly concerned about that storm that's down here in North Alabama at the moment, but watching it.
All right, thanks so much, Brett. I sent a report into the Weather Service. This is what we just had come through here. So for perspective, here's downtown. And this little pocket of wind is actually showing up with some strong rotation. Now, normally when we have a whole line like this that pops up, this is measuring straight line winds, not tornado rotation. There might be a little bit of rotation there, but this is more caused by straight line winds when it's in a whole line. If you can see those brighter greens stretching from Parkwood Estates on down through Nashville, we're likely looking at, I would be surprised if it was close to 70 miles per hour that came through Metro Center just moments ago. Yeah, that is 70 miles per hour. Here's the radar dome out of Nashville, and that is very close. So this is going to be very close to the radar site. So those wind speeds are going to be a little more accurate, depicting winds up to 70 miles per hour. This is Ellington Parkway at Ben Allen Road here and East Nashville area, and you can see, wow, you can see the rain just being pushed along the road there. So again, excuse me, these winds will pack a punch up to 70 miles per hour. It will be intense, but it will be short-lived. And then once that intense pocket passes you, the greatest risk for severe weather comes down quite a bit. We'll still have the potential for some pretty breezy winds, but I would say that your main threat for tornadoes and for those winds comes down quite a bit once you get that really intense pocket of wind that comes through. So let's track this out here because that's pretty intense. And that's going to be headed towards Hendersonville and eventually Gallatin. This extends all the way through this severe thunderstorm warning. Old Hickory in 5 minutes from now, the airport 6 minutes from now, Hendersonville in about 7 minutes from now, Mount Juliet in about 14 minutes from now. Get ready because this is a line of wind that is really packing a punch. And that area here, just near Madison now, starting to bow out a little bit more. We might have a little rotation near Madison, right on Gallatin Pike. This might be a spin up that's trying to get its act together here. Montague and Madison, North Nashville that we're looking at right here, right along Gallatin Pike at Madison, north of Haysboro, north of Briley Parkway, just at Briley Parkway and Gallatin Road. So that intense wind, no doubt, but might be some rotation right there. This might be. They saying anything in Weather Service?
Good eye on picking that out. Let me pop over to the National Weather Service. Yeah, it looks like they just issued a tornado warning. So, oh, there it goes. Good job.
All right, so for folks near Madison, this is going to be pushing toward Hendersonville. So for folks in Hendersonville, passing over Old Hickory Lake. So there's Briley and Dickerson Pike right now. Very intense and small area, pinpoint area of rotation that we're picking up on radar. This is likely a spin-up tornado that could be in progress right now near Montague and Madison, headed towards Hendersonville, Old Hickory Lake, up towards Edenwald and Veterans Parkway, Vietnam Vets. We're looking at, again, this rotation right here. So I'm going to track this out, and I might have to zoom out a little bit. Let me zoom out. 1 second. Stand by. So this, I would be concerned for folks in Hendersonville. It might not stay on the ground that long, but still want to go ahead and take your safety precautions down, head to the lowest level of your home. That looks like it's frozen now, that camera, because it's not that light at night. There you go. So we're looking at Old Hickory at 4 minutes, Hendersonville in the next 6 minutes from now, Gallatin 19 minutes. But again, these types of rotation are very quick to spin up and are typically brief, but right now an intense area of rotation that is passing over Madison, headed towards Rayon City. This is going to pass over Old Hickory Lake and will potentially impact Hendersonville. For folks in Hendersonville, need to make sure that you are headed to the basement now. Very, again, intense little area of rotation right off Gallatin Pike near Montague and Madison. Again, this is I-65 and Old Hickory. A lot of us here are just seeing the impacts of this intense burst of wind. This might have been, too, actually what we saw before there was rotation. This might be that same little area, Brett, I'm wondering.
It would have been about on that same track.
It was about that same track. So this now is starting to pop out a little bit. We call these Popeye arms, an unofficial term from meteorologists. But this area here that I'm seeing, we see these little kind of inflow notches that form. And when you see those, that indicates an area along a line, or what we're having tonight, it's a technical term, QLCS. These little notches that form on these QLCS systems can often form these little brief spin-up tornadoes. Just a little concerned seeing that last radar scan here, and it's real close to the radar site, so we're getting a fairly accurate depiction lower in the atmosphere, closer to the surface. I will say that the rotation does not look to be as tight anymore, which is, again, pretty on point for these types of little spin-ups. But for folks near Vietnam Vets, 360 or 386 Vietnam Vets up towards Hendersonville, Creekwood Estates, Glen Oaks, we're still looking at a little bit of rotation within this storm. Brett, have you heard anything from Weather Service yet?
Still just, the last thing that came in was that they went ahead and issued that tornado warning right when we started talking about that. But like you were saying, I'm not seeing the greatest rotation on the radar. When that tornado warning got issued, right when Katie kind of saw that area of rotation on that storm, it was pretty tight, very close. Not seeing the winds that we look for, the red and the green pixels on the radar indicating the tight rotation. It was popping up pretty tight, but now it does not appear as tight, but still,
it's getting close to the radar too.
It is getting very close to the radar, and you know, like if I put it over here, it just kind of looks like a cluttered picture. So you just really need to stay in your safe place just in case, because it's a severe thunderstorm that is very capable of producing a tornado if there is not a tornado on the ground. But the National Weather Service went ahead and issued that tornado warning because of radar indicated rotation. It's what we were showing you just before that tornado warning was issued. But we'll say areas in northeastern parts of Davidson County, extending on up into parts of Wilson County too. Just go ahead and stay in your safe place. We'll go over some of the town names real quick in just a second. This is Vietnam Vets right here, and heavy rain, that's going to be the story right here along this main line for everywhere that this main line passes through. And also looking at a lot of lightning too with the system. I'm not sure if I've seen any lightning strike popping up just yet on this camera, but some of these cameras that we've been seeing, and a lot of lightning. There's a lightning flash right there. So lots of lightning with these storms, very powerful storms, and really bringing in some really strong winds too. We have winds gusting 70, 75 miles an hour capable with a lot of these storms. And these systems, a lot of times, obviously damaging wind is the main concern. That's what we've been talking about for several days now, how damaging winds would be the main concern with the system. But with these two, you can get those brief tornadoes that develop right on the leading edge of this. And we may have had that happen a couple of times tonight. I've not seen any sort of confirmation on the tornado, any sort of touchdowns tonight. But that could be possible. Also, just to update real quick, and then we'll get right back to that tornado warning. I do have good news, though, for a lot of folks west of Interstate 65. Not everybody west of 65, but a lot of folks in our far western areas, they have been removed from that tornado watch. So if your county is no longer in a yellow box or highlighted in yellow, you are out of the tornado watch. So the severe threat has passed over your area, and you are not going to have to deal with that any longer. So you are good for the rest of the night from any tornado threat if your county has been removed from that tornado watch, and that's going to be those counties that are not highlighted in that shade of yellow. If you're along or east of Interstate 65, every single one of our counties is still included within that tornado watch. But that's at least good news. That severe threat has moved over and past those areas. We still have that tornado warning in in northeastern parts of Davidson County, extending on into parts of Sumner County and into northern parts of Wilson County. That tornado warning is going to go and until 11:30. Maybe another area too that we're watching, and down here near Lawrence County. Yeah, but we'll wait and see until we get anything official on that. But Katie, I'm going to switch it back over and just see if we're seeing any good rotation.
Yeah, I'm trying to look here, and again, I think we're getting close to getting close to the radar dome. We're just not going to get a good scan. But for folks in Hendersonville, I'll make sure you just stay put for a minute.
Better to just play it safe.
Yeah, and again, these winds are no joke, and the winds are moving through now. These types of winds would be something that I think you want to be in your safe shelter for anyways. Because boy, it packed a punch when it moved through here. 70-mile-per-hour winds will be possible with some of these storms here. Again, I'm not seeing the rotation that we did just a little bit ago coming in out of Madison. I'm going to roll this back just a little bit just to see if we can kind of pick out where this is headed. So this now main line has pushed through Hendersonville, downtown, near Maple Row, Indian Forest, downtown Hendersonville, and Oakville. Looks like another tornado warning has been issued. Is that the one in Lawrence County?
Down there in Lawrence, Giles and Lawrence.
We're going to continue to watch the one here in Hendersonville. We'll keep an eye on it. But Brett, can you update real fast on the Lawrence County one?
Yeah, so here we go. Let's see. Let me get the information on this Lawrence County tornado warning that we have. So at 10:56, that's basically right now, just a minute away. At 10:56, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles northeast of Lexington. So we're going to look at this down here, and you can see it just popped up right here on our radar computer. So this is going to be for parts of Lawrence County, the southeastern part of Lawrence County, on up into Giles County as well. So we're going to zoom in down here to show you what we have going on down here. Okay, so here's this area of rotation. It actually stands out pretty well. I'm going to not block it, and I'm going to move over here. I'll just go ahead and circle it. You can see it, though. It looks like we just had a radar scan update, too. But the best area of rotation right here around this blue circle. So I've got that circled, and now I'm going to zoom in, and we're just going to talk about this right here. So right here, we are in the far southeastern part of Lawrence County. This tornado warning is going to go until 11:45. 47 minutes left on this tornado warning. If you're around Lower Moccasin, this is in Lawrence County, Lower Moccasin, 5 Points, Bird Mill, Appleton, Peach, any of those towns, Fall River, you need to be in your safe place now. So just like we've been talking about all night long now, the lowest floor of whatever building you're in, the most interior room, stay away from any windows. If you have an interior bathroom, an interior closet, that's going to be a good bet for you. If you do have a storm shelter or a basement, obviously, that's going to be one of the best places that you can be. if there is a tornado on the ground. This was issued at, I believe, let's see, radar indicated rotation is what this was still issued for. So I don't have any sort of confirmation on it just yet. If there is actually a tornado on the ground, we'll see if we get any updates on that. I have been seeing a report of some power flashes and things like that. So we're gonna keep on watching that. But that is the area for Lawrence County. Again, the best area of rotation within this blue circle. And then that does extend up to the northeast into parts of Giles County. So areas like Anthony Hill, Minor Hill, Cobb Subdivision, Pulaski, Harwell all need to be in your safe place right now. And it's still, so the main area of concern, I'm just reading some of these updates coming in from the National Weather Service chat, and it looks like there may be a camera down there. Around Minor Hill. So we're just going to keep on watching that. But this area is probably the main area of concern for us right here in Middle Tennessee. It is showing the best area of rotation. And this looks like it's that same storm that we had been watching for a while now that was up in North Alabama. It has now crossed over, if that is that same storm, I believe it is. It's now crossed over the state line and pushed up here into Lawrence County and Giles County. I do want to also just come back up here because we do still have this tornado warning up here in Davidson County. We'll put on the rotation.
It still does not look quite as impressive.
Not, which is good.
The tornado warning remains in effect, so we do want folks in Hendersonville on over to Cairo, Castilian Springs. Stay in your safe place. Gallatin, make sure you're in your safe spot for now, but it does look like hopefully trends look good that the rotation is no longer as intense, as tight as it was. So that is good.
That is good.
Yeah.
And hopefully the National Weather Service can update that one, but I know they got their hands full. I'm seeing a lot of reports coming in down here of just a lot of chatter about this storm down in Lawrence County and Giles County. So I'm going to wait for any official confirmation, but right now we'll still just say radar indicated rotation, but that may be getting an update soon. So you really need to be in your safe place if you're down here around southeastern Lawrence County. The best area of rotation now is on the Lawrence and Giles County line, very close to the Alabama border. So this is going to be the far southern part of Lawrence County and Giles County, right here around Minor Hill and Peach, Appleton, Lower Moccasin. You can see these reds and the green pixels that are popping up on the radar. I'm on the Nashville radar site right now. So these reds are the winds going away from the radar and the greens are the winds going towards it. And this is where we have the best area of rotation, right on the Lawrence and Giles County line, right here where I've circled. This storm is moving off to the northeast. A lot of these storms tonight have been moving up northeast about 50, 55 miles an hour or so. So this storm's probably doing about the same. These areas in southeastern Lawrence County and up in the Giles County. So we're going to read out some of these road names around the area of the best rotation. And again, it's right where I've kind of drawn these arrows indicating the rotation in this area of blue. We're talking Peach Road, Powell School Road here in just a little bit, Kennedy Road. Some of these areas, these are in Lawrence County and Giles County. It looks like if there is a tornado on the ground, that it's going to be crossing over those areas right now. I'm just still reading the National Weather Service chat, along with trying to keep an eye on the radar too. We have a radar update that has just come in, and it's still showing some rotation here around the Minor Hill and Monroe area. This is now looking like it's pushed off more so into Giles County, at least the main area of concern. We'll pop this up. Okay, yeah, so it looks like the main area of concern is going to be right here around Minor Hill and Malone, some of the better rotation, in Sexton, Marbutts, in Giles County. So now if you're in these areas right here, you need to definitely be in your safe place right now. If there is a tornado on the ground, that is where it would be, right here around Ray Branch Road. So just go ahead and stay in your safe place, and then on that extension northeastward up into Giles County, any of these town names that are in that red flashing polygon, that includes Pulaski, Anthony Hill, Harwell, Conway, Lester's, Kedron, Bradshaw, Beach Hill, any of those spots, go ahead and stay in your safe place as well. Kelly Avellino at the desk. I think we have a little bit more information. Kelly, what you got for us over there?
That's right. We're getting some new video in showing the Metro Center area. Let's take that here. I believe we're going to see a lot of heavy rain right there.
Yeah.
That's sideways blowing rain. You can see Certainly some intense winds there, and this was taken again right in the Metro Center area, a little bit north of downtown here in Nashville. So you can just see what we're experiencing right now. We also have some outages to tell you about. We've got CDE Lightband in the Northville-Clarksville area, about 6,100 people out in that electric cooperative. Cumberland Electric, we have 4,200 people out right now in and around the Fort Campbell area. Penny Ryle in mostly Christian County, 1,700 people in the dark, and NES just shot up to just over 2,000 outages in the last like 10 minutes or so. It was at about 200, and now we're seeing some outages in the Bellevue, Belmead, and East Nashville areas. Also, to add to all that, some reports of hail up in Dixon County. So a whole lot going down right through the mid-state as we continue to monitor these warnings and watches. We're going to send it back over to Katie and Brett.
All right, thanks so much, Kelly. I do want to make a quick note that no longer have Davidson County. Can you tell them no longer under that tornado warning for Davidson County?
Gotcha. I'll send out an email right now.
Yeah. Well, it's on our lower third right there. You can see that. I'm going to change my mic. I think my mic died.
Oh, battery's dead. Yeah, these mics, when we're going this long, they can just eat through a battery. But Davidson County no longer included within that tornado warning. That's what we're going to look at right here. Let's see. I keep losing. Yep, so Wilson County and Sumner County both included. It's hard to see the county lines. We got really heavy rain going on right now, but this is going to be the county line, or at least, wow, I can see it better on this than I can on my computer. But this is going to be the county line right here. So there is still that tornado warning that does include parts of northern Wilson County and southern Sumner County that will run until 11:30 p.m. if the Nashville National Weather Service office keeps that tornado warning on that storm. But this is right over the radar, and sometimes this can affect the picture a little bit, but I'm not seeing the strong rotation like we were when this tornado warning was initially issued probably 20 minutes ago or so when it was around the Madison area. I'd be curious to see if we do get any reports from the Madison area, if there was maybe a brief touchdown, because a lot of times with these sort of systems, they move through as a main line, but they can get, let me just read this real quick. Okay, they can kind of get those quick spin-up tornadoes along those main lines as they continue to travel through our area. But the main concern with these storms is always strong, damaging winds. We've been seeing some of these possibly 70, 75 miles an hour. That could still cause damage like a low-wind tornado, though, so you can't let your guard down during that. And then a lot of times with these, you get just a low or a medium tornado threat, and that's what we've seen today. And usually these are just those quick spin-up tornadoes.
I just saw a big...
I was about to say, I knew you saw something.
I have the Metro Center camera up, and I just saw, I'm switching over my my show here real fast, but I just saw a huge cloud-to-cloud strike of lightning just streak cool. across the sky here in Metro Center. So that warranted the woo.
No, I like it. I knew something was going on, but I couldn't see it.
Let's take a look here. I want to go back over to a couple of our cameras just to get a look. Here's our Nissan Stadium camera. Not as much of a concern for severe weather now through Nashville. That point has passed. We had that big burst come through, and now things have quieted down, but we're still going to see gusty winds, rain, and a lot of lightning, which I just saw streak across the sky here from our Metro Center camera. Windy conditions in Gallatin, in fact, so much so that our camera froze. But you can see the flag there at the bottom. So Gallatin camera is now frozen. But again, we do continue to track this line that pushes through, that will continue to push through as we head through the next couple of hours. We have the watch that's in effect until 3 o'clock in the morning. But again, as that first big burst and intense line pushes through, your severe weather threat begins to weaken quite a bit. Let's take a quick look again at where you need to be in a tornado warning. If you're new to Nashville, I know a lot of folks are coming in from areas that just don't have tornadoes often. Safest place is going to be in a basement or an underground location, or if you do not have a basement, an interior room like this place here, a bathroom. That's another good place to be. Anywhere that's away from windows. Lowest level of your home, a closet or bathroom, anything that you can put on top of yourself, a blanket, helmets on children are a good thing to always have ready to go in your tornado safety kit. These are all things that you can do to protect yourself. in the unlikely case that a tornado does damage to your home, and let's say part of your roof is exposed and you're exposed to the outside, again, anything that you can cover yourself with to protect yourself from flying debris is a good thing. So again, tornadoes that we see tonight are going to be short-lived. The one, for example, that we were just watching move through Madison is a good example where a couple scans, it was on the ground, and then it poof, vanished by the time it reached Hendersonville. So we're going to check on that here and see if we can't get any reports of damage. Weather Service is going to be busy tonight, so we could possibly see a crew go out to survey damage there, maybe a few other locations. But again, that'll be something for a few days from now to figure out. This is I-40 in Wilson County. You can see the lightning is just incredible tonight. Wind as well, and the heavy rain. Tornado watch, you can see too. Continue to see those counties taken out. So for folks in Dixon to Clarksville, Hopkinsville, Linden, Camden, Paris, all out of the watch. You're in the clear tonight for severe weather, but everyone in yellow continues to be in that watch until 3 a.m. But the next row of counties that'll be able to be excluded does include Nashville, I think Gallatin, Columbia, Lawrenceburg. So you can see the trend. So that 3 a.m. time frame is going to be more for those toward the plateau as this line continues to work its way across Middle Tennessee. Now we do still have the one tornado warning that is in effect. Let me make sure that is in fact correct. They still have the tornado warning going here as well up in Sumner County. But I've got the radar on high top. So let's take a look real fast here down in Pulaski. They were talking about areas of rotation here, and it's now pushed into Giles County. And again, this one does have a really intense area of wind, probably some small hail, and a little kink within the line. And that is likely where they're looking at that rotation near Kindren in southern Giles County. So near Harwell to Aspen Hill. These are locations that need to be taking action now and make sure that you are enacting your tornado safety plan. If we put rotation detection on it, we easily see a few places that are popping up near Harwell, just ahead of Harwell, and then through Pulaski, also looking at some rotation. So once again, there are a couple areas that we're keeping our eye on here through Giles County. That one through Pulaski, and that's one they were talking about too, Brett, wasn't it? Through Giles County was Pulaski. So,
yeah, that was the one.
So they will continue the tornado warning here for Giles County, and that'll go until 11:45. And I would bet that we might be looking at a few areas there, maybe one near Aspen Hill and then the other one moving through Pulaski at this time.
And it seems like with a lot of these severe thunderstorm warnings, they're just going ahead and putting those tornado possible tags on just to account for the fact that we could get some of those brief spin up tornadoes on the leading edge of this line as it moves through. Very typical with this type of system. These are what we call those QLCS systems. Kind of comes through as a broken line of storms, not a totally straight line, but we can get some of those areas of rotation on the leading edge of these type of storm systems. Very strong winds though, regardless. We've been talking about Sarah, can you say it one more time? So we're up in
I-40 and 840 in Wilson County.
I-40, 840 in Wilson County is what we're looking at right now, and there's your lightning flash. This has been very common all night long now. These storms have been very strong. Lots of lightning with these storms. I had lightning on when we first started covering during the show, and then for those tornado warnings, but I just took it off because it was getting so cluttered. So lots of lightning every second.
I mean, the wind is whipping. It's hard to tell since it's a night camera, but it is that is rain that is moving on the road that you see there, and you can see it a little bit illuminated with the headlights of folks that are out driving. Hopefully being very cautious on the roads. I would not want to be out right now. But this is pushing into Lebanon, so the most intense part of this storm is going to be moving through Lebanon here. And then again, that pretty much right where that camera is at I-40 and 840, that is where the intense part of the line is that's pushing through right now. So winds 70 miles per hour with this storm as it pushes in. Electric as well. We're getting several strikes of lightning out of these storms, and again, just pushing that water because of how heavy the rain is. I've zoomed in. This is downtown Lebanon right here. So the camera is right about there. We're seeing that intense rainfall right now and the wind that's pushing through. And it is packing a punch. And that has been the story for the night. Now we back out again on radar and want to kind of set the stage again, just so you're kind of familiar with what's going on. You notice how far out these severe thunderstorm warnings are going. They're out quite a bit, a couple counties out, in fact. That's how intense these storms are, as you can see from the camera. So again, these storms will be destructive with winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. It will be relatively short-lived, but it will be very intense when it moves through. And then once that main line, that front line passes through, your threats begin to downgrade a little bit. Gusty winds, some heavy rain, lots of lightning, still noisy storms. But the most intense winds and the threat for tornadoes will be along that very immediate front line. And something else to note too, Brett, I've noticed on the radar that we are now looking at one solid line of storms. So as expected, and that typically happens as we get later into the night, we're getting some help from a low-level jet as well, which is bringing in more energy for these storms, maintaining their strength, not only in the form of wind, but bringing in a little more spin to the atmosphere, which is bringing these little spin-up tornadoes too. Again, one big line here is going to be more severe wind-driven, has been our threat all night, these little spin-up tornadoes will continue to be possible for us as well.
And Katie, I'm still down here in this Giles County storm, and we're going to look south of Pulaski near Harwell and Aspen Hill, and I think I'm seeing still a little bit of rotation right here down here in Giles County. So that's one area that I just want to keep on keeping an eye on. I've circled it in blue, some of the best rotation. And again, forgive me, I got to get really close to see some of these town names, or some of these road names. But we're talking Prospect Road, Yant Road, Elkton Road, or Elkton Pike. Again, Prospect Road. Any of those areas down here in Giles County, it looks like if there is that tornado on the ground, it would be crossing over some of those areas right now. This is going to be south of Tarpley, right here around Harwell, Aspen Hill, and around Yant Road and Elkton Pike. So just go ahead and stay in your safe place right there. Radar is still showing some rotation going on with that particular part of the storm, which could be indicating to us that there is that tornado on the ground. So that's one area that we just still watching. There's a new radar scan that just came out, and it shifted it over to the east. So that rotation was right there, and now the newest radar scan, if we're still looking at the rotation, it's going to be just a little bit east, or just a little bit west of Interstate 65, southwest of Bunker Hill. So just stay in your safe place for a little bit longer. That tornado warning is set to go until 11:45, so about 30 minutes remaining on that tornado warning. But it looks like the best area of rotation is now closing in closer to Interstate 65. So that just wanted to cover that. That's one of the tornado warnings that we have left. And Katie, it looks like they've also gone ahead and canceled that, what was that, Wilson and Sumner tornado warning?
Yeah, they maybe let it expire.
Okay.
They canceled it early, yeah, because I think it was supposed to go later. So Sumner and Wilson County no longer in a tornado warning. The one that we continue to monitor is down south in Giles County. Just includes Giles County for now. Now, it'll be interesting to see if we cross over into a different weather service when we get into Lincoln County. So it'll be interesting to see if they decide to continue that warning, or if weather service in Nashville extends it more into southern Marshall County. I do want to make a quick note too. I just noticed from the newsroom that we have some school delays and closures tomorrow due to severe weather. Most of these are going to be near the Cumberland Plateau. So let me go back. I just had it open, so let me go back to that real fast. There it is. So tomorrow, DeKalb County, Van Buren County, White County schools are closed. Delayed start times, opening 2 hours late. Clay County, Fentress County, Grundy County, and Pickett County. And then Macon County is opening 1 hour late tomorrow. So a list of schools that have decided to either close or open late. Mainly toward the plateau. This is a good look at Lebanon. Look at the lights there. So these are high winds that are moving through downtown Lebanon right now, and that's all from that main line that we've been tracking. But boy, those winds are just going. 70-mile-per-hour winds will be what we get out of a lot of this main line, a lot of the main line that's pushing in, and the rain just being pushed along with it. But that's a great camera, just being able to see the lights there too, kind of tumbling. So that again is downtown Lebanon. But we continue to monitor the tornado warning that is in Giles County, now through Pulaski. And let me change my radar. I'm switching back and forth from Hopkinsville to, or High Top to Nashville. So I would say now, Brett, where Brett was monitoring that rotation near Aspen Hill and Harwell, it's now past that and getting ready to push over I-65. Wow. Okay, so that's Lebanon. With the intense rain and the wind that continues to push through. So again, this is really great visual too. Wow. To keep in mind that these winds are no joke tonight. This is not a tornado. This is high wind that is pushing through downtown Lebanon right now. Buckets of rain and intense winds, straight line winds that we are seeing here that can do low-end tornado damage in some cases. So that again is downtown Lebanon that we're looking at, where we do have severe thunderstorm warning in effect with winds up to 70 miles per hour. So very intense looking wind moving through there. I want to go back over to the storm in Giles County real fast, because it does look like there is a little bit of a notch that's trying to form near Bunker Hill. This is going to pass over I-65 in Giles County that we're looking at here. So there might be maybe a little bit of rotation trying to pop up. Latest scan just came in and it looks like it kind of weakened again. So that's kind of the story with these storms for tonight. We'll see them real fast. They'll quickly spin up and then they'll decide to weaken. Looks like the storm predictor, or the National Weather Service out of Huntsville, has gone ahead and issued a severe thunderstorm warning in exchange for the tornado warning. So that's a good sign.
That is a good sign.
It might be that they will just let this warning expire. The tornado warning for Giles County goes until 11:45, so it'd be another 15-20 minutes before it is done. But for those in Giles County now near Bunker Hill and I-65, go ahead and take your safety precautions and head to your tornado shelter now. Just to be on the safe side, because again, these winds are going to be like what we're seeing here in Lebanon. They're whipping, and the wind will be just as dangerous tonight as these low-end tornadoes can be. So the heavy rain and the wind again will be relatively short-lived, but still will be very intense when it moves through for tonight. And again, once that line passes, we will see the threat for severe weather begin to diminish. The tornado watch remains in effect here for everyone in yellow, but they continue to actively shave some counties out once that main line is passed. So we're hoping that next batch includes Davidson County for the tornado watch to be taken out. But the tornado, I don't know about you, Brett, but I'm not seeing it, the rotation as much as it was just a moment ago.
Yeah, you're talking about, like, down there still in Giles County?
Yeah.
Right. I'm not seeing it as strong as it was either. I'm on the Nashville radar site. We'll see. Yeah.
So that's good.
That is good.
Good to see. Hopefully that trend will continue. But let's zoom out here and kind of get a wide picture. And I'm going to switch back from the Alabama radar back to the Nashville radar. The line continues to work its way across Middle Tennessee. The tornado warning again is still in effect for Giles County.
That's the only one we have.
That's the only one we have. But the rest of of our entire viewing area is severe warned on. So this is all. These are all severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for winds that could be in excess of 70 miles per hour that are pushing through. And earlier we had some intense rain and wind come through Metro Center, and it was brief, but it was quite intense. And that's going to be our story for tonight as we continue to see this line work its way across Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, strong winds with all these, still maybe 70 miles an hour or so possible with a lot of these severe thunderstorms. And I'll just zoom out a little bit too, and you can see I'm moving away from the Nashville radar site, so you're not going to really see any rain, but I just keep on dragging this screen down, and they go all the way up to northern Indiana. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in southern Michigan. So when I was watching this earlier, this was a little bit before showtime. It was before it was moving in right around the Mississippi River. The whole thing was just severe thunderstorm warning all the way from around Chicago down to Texas. So this has been a very strong line of thunderstorms that has moved across a lot of the country, and it is about a little over halfway now out of our viewing area. The worst of the activity is now east of Interstate 65 for the most part, except for down here in Giles County, right over Interstate 65. All right, this camera right here is Interstate 40 in Wilson County, and it's this is basically just the same story that we've been seeing anywhere you look here across Middle Tennessee. The entire line, the entire edge of this storm is still severe thunderstorm warned, all the way from the Tennessee and Kentucky line down to the Tennessee and Alabama line, and you can see it right there. The heavy wind, heavy rain, strong wind, a lot of lightning. That has been the story for all of us as this round of severe weather has moved through. We've been talking about it for the past several days now, and it kept on looking like strong damaging wind was going to be the main concern, and that looks like it's what it's been for the most part. There have been a few areas that have been tornado warned on. We have maybe had a few brief spin-up tornadoes. We'll get confirmation from that within the next coming days from the National Weather Service, but there are some of these storms that have shown at least a little bit of quick but tight rotation. So we have had a few tornado warnings that have had to be issued by the National Weather Service office as well. Kelly, more information coming in. What you got over there?
That's right. The latest updates I'm seeing across my desk. We have the ground stop at BNA Nashville International Airport has been lifted at this point, so free and clear at BNA. We do have some fluctuating outage numbers. CDE light band is at 4,000. That is in the Clarksville, northern Clarksville area. Cumberland Electric has now dropped from about 4,100 previously to now 1,800, and this is in the area. Well, it was concentrated in and around Fort Campbell. It is now really across the Cumberland Electric area. Nashville Electric Service has jumped to now 3,125 outages in the area, East Nashville, Belmead, Bellevue areas. We also have some school closures and school delays coming in. Closed tomorrow will be DeKalb County Schools, Van Buren County Schools, as well as White County Schools. Under a 2-hour delay tomorrow, we have Clay County, Fentress County, Grundy County, Pickett County schools, all under a 2-hour delay, and then 1 hour we have Macon County schools. And that is what I am watching right now. We will continue to watch this final warning, hopefully a final warning through 11:45, Brett.
Yeah, that'd be great if this was our final tornado warning, and there's a chance that it could be because the tornado threat will get lower as it pushes on the plateau. The main concern, though, will still be the chance for strong damaging winds. That's going to be possible over on the plateau. Can't rule out any more tornado warnings, especially just one of those brief, quick spin-up tornadoes that we could see. Katie, I've been looking at the rotation when Kelly was giving those updates, and I'm not seeing much of any rotation from the Nashville radar site, from the North Alabama radar site on this storm anymore that's in Giles County. And
it's getting ready to push more into Lincoln County, where they do have the severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect. So I would say, with the latest scan just came in now, the leading edge would be where the tornado warning is. I would say that the threat in Giles County is most likely out of the county now and more into Lincoln County. So hopefully they'll be able to remove the warning here.
Hopefully within the next few minutes.
Within the next couple of minutes. But we do continue to watch for folks. I just happened to pull up, we are streaming on YouTube, and I just happened to pull up the stream, checking out some of the comments this evening, but did see one asking about Cookeville. So I do want to stress for those that are out toward the Cumberland Plateau, Upper Cumberland region, this has not made it to you yet. There is still a threat for high wind, a small threat for a tornado. The tornado watch remains in effect for our counties toward the Cumberland Plateau until 3 o'clock. So there's the tornado watch. And you can see even Gallatin, Nashville, Murfreesboro, Columbia still within the watch as well. But we will likely start to see the next row of counties here being taken out of the watch in a short amount of time. Once Murfreesboro still under the
look at that
potential.
Looks like that tornado warning is now gone.
Is it really? It is gone. Look at that. So good news for Giles County. It looks like the warning has passed, but we still continue to see widespread wind in excess of 70 miles per hour that passes through here. So for those in Tullahoma, Winchester, Fayetteville, McMinnville, Smithville, Cookville, Livingston, Crossville, still have yet to see this line move through. Main threat will be damaging wind in excess of 70 miles per hour. Can't completely rule out a tornado because we have that watch in effect. There are still some indications that we could have a few brief spin-ups, but for the most part, wind remains the main concern. And from what we've been seeing from some of these TDOT cameras and from some video that has been sent into the newsroom, this is an intense line of wind and rain, relatively short-lived, but when it moves through at first, it is packing quite a punch. So we don't want to kind of shrug it off as just wind. This means business tonight as far as the wind is concerned, and at any point we might still see a brief spin-up tornado, which is why we're going to stay here and keep an eye on things until it moves out. But what we can see from our rotation detection, when you see a line like this that forms, the rotation detection, when it pinpoints bullseyes on one spot, that is a tornado rotation that we're looking at. When it's a long kind of snake line like this, that is severe wind that we're looking at. So basically what our rotation detection is doing, it's picking up on concentrated areas of wind. And when we see an elongated swath like this, that indicates wind probably 70 miles per hour plus. So that's what we're seeing as we go through Murfreesboro, Watertown, headed towards Carthage to Gordonsville and down towards Woodbury to Beech Grove. Wartrace headed through Shelbyville right now. So wind around 70 miles per hour, easy with this line that is going to be pushing in. And I'd say that's probably going to be where our most intense wind is. So there's our severe wind, and you can see easily too where the winds are away from the radar and where they're going toward radar. It just, that sharp kind of drastic cutoff indicates again where we're looking at some pretty intense wind that is pushing through. So that's what we're looking at right now. The severe thunderstorm warnings continue for all of Middle Tennessee, stretching from Macon County on down to Lincoln County, even Giles County is still under the warning. But again, it's going to be this leading edge that we're mainly focused on for severe wind that could be up to 70 miles per hour as we continue to see this line march east. The good news is we are tornado warning free at the moment, but we are still looking at some damaging winds that are pushing across Middle Tennessee. It looks like that's the latest report that I even see from the National Weather Service.
Yep, and then just real quick too, on that storm, sorry, on that storm that was in Giles County that the tornado warning was for, the National Weather Service office in Huntsville said they are not planning on issuing a downstream or a tornado warning for, they cover Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin counties here in Middle Tennessee, and they said they are not going to issue, at least as of right now, a tornado warning for Lincoln or Moore counties, but they are keeping an eye on that, but that severe thunderstorm warning, they just put that tornado possible tag on it, but as of right now, no plans at least to issue that. They can pop up very quickly, but right now, yeah, we are tornado free, so that's good.
And again, we've got the watch that's in effect until 3 o'clock in the morning, and will remain in effect until that main line pushes through, I suspect. So once again, that main line, once it works its way across the area, we'll start to see more of these counties being taken out. But for those in Nashville, I would say that our main severe threat is over. And hopefully we hear in the next half hour at least, we'll probably see that watch be taken out of Davidson County. But Lafayette over towards Carthage, Murfreesboro still under the gun. Lewisburg right now getting hammered with some heavy rain and that wind. This is going to be the main area of concern that we continue to track throughout the evening hours. Anything else from the back? If not, we'll continue to monitor things here. We may step off here for just a minute, but we'll likely continue to do some cut-ins throughout the night with this line that moves through. But really do appreciate you watching our coverage for tonight. The good news is, again, we are tornado warning free at the moment, and we will continue to monitor these storms that are pushing into the Upper Cumberland region here shortly. If there is another tornado warning that is issued, we will be back on the air, but we will continue to update you online and through social media. that all throughout the next couple of hours until we are able to all go to sleep soundly with that watch coming to an end at 3 o'clock in the morning. So thank you again for watching us this evening. Be sure to stay with us online and throughout our social media.